Natalie, you are amazing. You're just wonderful.
So are you.
Such a beautiful soul. I want to know, can you offer any advice to anyone that wants to bring a sense of balance to their sacral? And where do we find you? And what's your favourite way to connect with new people in your work? I want you to talk about your wonderful projects.
Oh my goodness. Well, in terms of balancing the sacral, I mean, there are so many entry points, I guess. I would start with the passion, you know, like we've spoken so much about passion. So really start to bring that, even if it's a little bit at a time, making space for passion. And if you can't find it, starting to dig for the treasure of that.
Find the honey.
I think, yeah, find the honey. Find the honey. We've all got it. I really believe it's there in all of us. So that would be the first step, is looking for the passion. Movement, obviously, to me, is important for every chakra, but I guess for the sacral, you know, it is the chakra of movement. And I think a lot of us store so many blocked emotions in our bodies, where we literally hold them in the muscles, and just finding time to, even if it's a really gentle movement, put on some soft music and really release and start to just let go and surrender and have the intention of letting go. And I think, you know, you can work specifically with the sacral with, you know, doing gentle pelvic rotations. There's a beautiful exercise I like to do, which is really soft pelvic rotations and almost like breathing in this white light and almost seeing like the mist leaving of anything that we no longer need to store in the sacral. But I believe we hold emotions all over our bodies. So just movement, close your eyes, put some music on.
Dance like nobody's watching.
Door,
yep.
Dance like nobody's watching, because for the sacral's all about movement and releasing what we're holding in our bodies. So, and, you know, quite often the tears will start to flow, and you don't even need to know what the tears are about.
I agree.
It's release.
Don't go into the story. Just let it go.
Don't go into it.
Trust your body knows what it's doing.
Yeah. Flash of an insight or a memory or whatever, but you know, instead of having to push a certain way, it's releasing. So I would really recommend working with movement. There are so many different ways of working with the sacral. Obviously, working with, you know, the whole, I don't like to use the word goddess, but it's because I don't want to, it's that whole Empress. Let's go with Empress, like you were talking about later. The sacral chakra, for me anyway, is very much about that real sacred feminine that we all have, men and women. And, you know, it's almost like the womb is like this inner temple, you know, of this container of where we hold this sacred. Then it's that soft and nurturing and sensual, where we do get in touch with our senses, that beautiful energy that so many of us just are too busy to even connect with these days, or been traumatized in some way and have shut it down or whatever. So
and as we said earlier, in Ayurveda, the first place that we feel the stress as women is in our ovaries.
Yeah, exactly. So much of that is shut down and it's rigid. So finding ways, and again, it can be really simple. You know, it sounds like a cliche, but actually running that bath with the beautiful oils, lighting the candle and putting the music on is such a way of igniting the energy in the sacral chakra. It's connecting back to that Empress energy, to that, you know, the senses, the feeling, the nurturing, the smell. The wild, the smell, you know, I go every full moon, I go with a group of girlfriends out into the national park and we dance under a full moon. It sounds really hippie, but it's not, we're not doing it in that way. It's a way for us to connect back into the rhythms of the feminine, of the sacral. And there's a real magic. There is a magic to the sacred feminine that when we start to really tap into that, you know, we get this beautiful intuition and, you know, this insane creativity that emerges, and we just become more in touch with who we truly are. So finding, and that'll be different for everyone. I like to go out, but, you know, I equally like to have the bath or do something just really beautiful, something graceful, something tender, you know, something that,
something
whatever it is,
and soft.
something, yeah. So I would go for passion, go for that sacred feminine, and movement. You know, that's how I would start. If you really want to start working with this sacral chakra, that's where I would start.
Nice. And tell us more about where we can find you, your offerings, and your favorite way to connect with new people that come into your life and work.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Chakra Dance has been, we're so lucky to have this online community, aren't we? Like, you know, when I first started Chakra Dance, I used to just be on aeroplanes because I had to fly everywhere to run classes. And then I was like, okay, you know, and then when I got pregnant, it was like, I was 9 months pregnant when I actually ran my first 10-day training. I was 6 months pregnant when I flew to America and ran Chakra Dance at the Deepak Chopra Center. I kept going as far as I could into, now I need to stop. And then the online world has just been such a gift to be able to share it more widely. So we've got, I developed
and a blessing for the rest of us that can access it so easily as well.
Can access it. Exactly. And, you know, creating things like the DVD and CDs that people can do at home. But the ultimate experience of Chakra Dance is doing a class, because being held by one of the facilitators, I mean, obviously when you come together in a group, it magnifies the experience, and being held by a facilitator, it just, it does allow that extra safety for you to go deeper
and to be held. And
I can't recommend classes. Yeah, to be supported.
Do you still run classes and workshops?
Oh, very few these days. I have run some up here in Noosa. I'm actually developing a whole new series at the moment, and as soon as that's finished, I'll start running that as retreats. I'll start doing some traveling again. It's time. I can feel it. But we've now got we're over 300 facilitators in 35 countries now. And this is because of the online world, of people being able to do the training from home, experience it for themselves, and then go out there. So we've got a website it's just chakradance.com, and there's a find a class page. So hopefully anyone who's, you know, called to do this, they can find a class near them. I really, really recommend, if you can get to a class, it's the ultimate way to do it. If you can't, if there's not a class near you, that's why we've done the DVD and the CD, which are, you know, that you can do at home. You can do that as a home practice.
Yeah.
So, and then, of course, if you want to then become a facilitator, there's that training as well. And then, like you, I'm starting to do some online courses as well, which not necessarily all about dance. I've just run on the base chakra, and I'll be running another one on I'm going to move slowly up through the chakras. But again, different ways of working with the chakras. So, you know, power animals, chanting. It's all music based for me. Everything I do is based with the resonance of the music. So there's lots of different ways to experience it. But ultimately, I would say try and get to a class if it's resonating for you.
Most of my students also say, you know, it's great to have the e-course, but then the live class or the workshop, because I don't teach public classes anymore either. And because I have the blessing of being so busy that I have to consolidate and conserve my energy. So a workshop always has a lot of powerful and very special energy, especially around a solstice or an equinox.
Yes, it really does. And I think the group shifts, like the shifts that can take place are enormous. A lot of our facilitators run the workshops. In fact, the first workshop I ran for the College of Psychic Studies was for their winter solstice.
Oh, so really?
I ran the Amadeus Centre as my first class, and then I was invited to run it through the college, and it was for the solstice. So it started from there. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That was probably my first Kundalini yoga workshop as well. Many years ago, a winter solstice.
Oh, there we go. Another synchronicity.
Yeah, we moved back to Australia in the same year.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Exactly. It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, Natalie, this is wonderful. Thank you so much for your time today, your wisdom, and the generosity of your honesty as well. I really, really, really appreciate it.
And thank you so much for having me on your show, your new chat show. I'm sure it will be a huge success. And I'm, you know, really admiring the work that you're doing. It's so needed, and you've done it so beautifully and with such grace. So
thank you so much. Oh, much love to you.
Much love to you too.